All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are. I know you're in different parts of the country and different parts of the world. So, welcome to Africa 24-hour TV. This is a channel that connects you with African stories. And of course, if you're joining me, we are joining this channel and watching for the first time, kindly start by subscribing to our channel just on YouTube where you see a Freak 24-hour TV. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that whenever we're having this kind of videos, we'll always be able to notify you. This is our interactive, educative session whereby we are looking at some of the prominent leaders that we've had in Kenya. So today, I want us to look at a leader called Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. I know something is running in your mind when you hear the name Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Maybe some of you never saw him, some of you never interacted with him, but you've heard of him. Or maybe you've heard of his sons or his daughters. I know people know somebody called Raila Odinga. They know somebody called Oburu Odinga. They know somebody called Ruth Odinga, among other people. After this session, after this interactive session, of course, you'll be able to know who Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was. So kindly ensure that you subscribe and also share with your friends so that they can also be able to partake in this knowledge. Today, I'm Leo Nyabaya. I'm the one who is going to take you through step by step to understand who Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was. Of course, this was a Kenyan African nationalist. Jaramogi was an African nationalist, of which we are going to look at him. He was a leader of opposition. He was a politician. He was a founding member of the party that led the country to independence. That is Kenya National Alliance Union, the KANU. He was also one man who fought for what is called the multi-party democracy. This a man who was born in a certain village that is currently a town called Bondo Town, as you can be able to see on your screens. And you'll also find that he was also a teacher. Yes, he could also be able to teach. He taught at Maseno School, as you can be able to see on your screen there. That is how Maseno School looks like. So allow me, before I just explain something, allow me to tell you, take you through the story of who Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was. I know somebody here is going to help me narrate the story.
Jaramogi Ajuma Oginga Odinga was born on January 20th, 1911 in Bondo in Nyanza province. His mother was known as Apondo Nyamegolo and his father was a woodworker known as Odinga Raila. Jaramogi was born in a family of 3 brothers and 2 sisters from his mother's house. Jaramogi's Christian names were known as Obadia Adenija, but he later did away with those names. He instead stuck to his names Oginga Odinga. He went to Maseno School and later Alliance Boys High School. He then went to Makerere University where he graduated with a diploma in education. In the year 1940, he returned to Kenya. From 1940 to 1942, Oginga taught mathematics at the Church Missionary Society School at Maseno, and from 1943 to 1946 he was headmaster of the Maseno Veterinary School. He joined a political party known as Kenya Africa Union KU in the year 1948. He aspired to empower his Kenyan Luo ethnic group. Oginga Odinga started the Luo Thrift and Trading Corporation. With time, Oginga Odinga and his group went ahead to strengthen the union between the Luo people in the whole of East Africa. His efforts earned him admiration and recognition among the Luo. He was referred as Kea, which means a spiritual leader. This position was previously held by the fabled ancestral Luo chief who was known as Jaramogi Ajwang. Oginga Odinga vowed to uphold the ideas of Jaramogi Ajwang. From that day, Oginga Odinga was known as Jaramogi, which means a man of the Jaramogi people. According to the traditions of the Luo people, a spiritual leader was not allowed to become a politician, so he relinquished his position in the year 1957. He became the spokesperson of the Luo people. In the same year, that is the year 1957, he was elected as the Legislative Council for the Central Nyanza constituency. In the year 1960, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga together with Tom Mboya joined Kenya African National Union KANU. Jaramogi was appointed Minister for Home Affairs in 1963. In the year 1964, Kenya became an independent republic and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga became the first Vice President of Kenya on December 12, 1964. Later on, when he was still the Vice President, he didn't agree with Jomo Kenyatta's government. The cordial relationship Jaramogi had enjoyed with Jomo Kenyatta ended on April 14, 1966 when he resigned from his position as the vice president after enduring a wave of frustrations from the government. He also quit KANU in the year 1966 and he formed Kenya People's Union KPU. The friction between Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and President Jomo Kenyatta continued. These two leaders verbally abused each other publicly at a chaotic function in Kisumu in the year 1969. President Jomo Kenyatta visited Kisumu on October 25, 1969 to open the Russian-built new Nyanza General Hospital, now called Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital. Tension was high when the president arrived in Kisumu. A rowdy mob chanting KPU's slogans pelted Kenyatta's motorcade with stones. Police opened fire and killed 11 people as the president's security whisked him away. In the aftermath of the violence, Kenyatta was annoyed and arrested and detained Jaramogi and his 6 fellow legislators. KPU was later banned by the government. Jaramogi was detained for 2 years. He was consigned to a political limbo until after the death of Jomo Kenyatta on August 1978. Daniel Moi succeeded the late Jomo Kenyatta as the President of Kenya. He then appointed Jaramogi Oginga Odinga as the chairman of the Cotton, Lint and Seed Marketing Board. He did not last long in the post, presumably because he was still outspoken against Kenyatta's policies. Odinga attempted to register a political party in 1982, but when Attorney General Charles Njonjo amended the constitution which made Kenya a de jure single-party state, his plans were foiled. After the 1982 attempted coup, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was placed under house arrest in Kisumu. In 1990, he tried in vain with others to register an opposition party, the National Democratic Party. In 1991 he co-founded and became the interim chairman of Forum for the Restoration of Democracy (FORD). FORD split before the 1992 elections. With the return to plural politics in December 1992, Jaramogi was elected the MP for Bondo constituency in Siaya, while his son Raila was elected the MP for Lang'ata constituency in Nairobi. For the first time, the father and son were both elected MPs. Odinga himself vied for presidency on Ford Kenya ticket, but finished fourth with a share of 17.5% votes. However, he regained the Bondo constituency seat after being forced out of parliamentary politics for over 2 decades. Odinga died in 1994. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was a polygamous man. He had 4 wives and they are known as Mary Juma, Godencia Adihia, Susan Agik and Betty Adongo. With these wives he had 17 children. Mary is the mother of Raila Odinga and Oburu Odinga. Mary died in the year 1984 in Aga Khan Hospital in Kisumu. Jaramogi was buried at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Mausoleum in his Bondo home.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I think you've heard that story very well. You've heard it being narrated. So as a good listener, as a good learner, as a good student? I just want to ask you these few questions. So if you're watching this video, kindly, down there is a place written comment section. Yeah, there's a place you can be able to comment. I just want to know if you are listening. I know you're having your pen and your notebook somewhere and you're noting something as a good listener or as a good student or as a good learner. So on the comment section, can you tell me which position did Jaramogi Oginga Odinga hold in KANU when KANU was formed? When KANU was formed, yeah, that is the party that led the country to independence. When KANU was formed, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, we've been told, was a founding member of KANU. We've had people like Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Tom Mboya. We've been told they were the founding members of KANU. So which position did Jaramogi Oginga Odinga hold? Remember, we were having the chairperson, we were having the secretary general, we were having the treasurer. Okay, so which position did Jaramogi Oginga Odinga hold at the formation of KANU? Good. Take your time. Write it down on the comment section. I'll be able to read it out. I'll be able to read it out, of course. I'll be able to. If you get it, I'll like it. If you don't get it, I'll dislike it. Okay. Question two. When, that is which year, did Jaramogi Oginga Odinga resign as the vice president? Remember, we've been told that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was the first vice president of Kenya. That is, after independence, we went for independence elections in 1963. After the independence elections that KANU managed to beat KADU. Of course, this is a story that I'll give you next time when I'll be talking of the political parties and the movements that we had in Kenya, that is post and after, post and pre-independence. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was elected, not elected, but was appointed the first vice president, because at that moment he was the vice president of KANU, with Jomo Kenyatta becoming the first president. That is when Kenya became a republic in 1964. And Jomo Kenyatta, by then he was the prime minister. So he officially became the first president of Kenya. Then Jaramogi became the first vice president. Then when did Jaramogi resign as the vice president? That's the second question. I hope you've written it. Good. Let us proceed. Question three. In which year did Jaramogi Oginga Odinga die? We've been told he was buried at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Mausoleum. The mausoleum is in Bondo town. When you visit Bondo in Siaya County, you can be able to access the place and learn a lot of history about Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and Kenya and Africa at large. The last question, so I've asked you, the third question is, when did Jaramogi Oginga Odinga die? Then the last question, is it last? No, not the last one. Another question, which year did Jaramogi Oginga Odinga vie to become a president? Which year did he contest, or which year did he vie as a president? I know the party. He used a party called Forum for Restoration of Democracy, Ford. So which year was it that he vied to become the president? Yet he did not win, but he vied to become the president. And lastly, we've been told Jaramogi Odinga was detained. He was under house arrest after what was called the attempted coup. There was an attempted coup in Kenya. When we talk of a coup, this is an attempt to overthrow a democratically elected president. So that year, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi was the president, and some soldiers or some people tried to overthrow him. Yeah, to overthrow is to ensure that you remove somebody from office. Like what is happening currently? Yeah, you see people marching on the streets and they're saying Ruto must go, Ruto must go. So if maybe they manage to get to State House and maybe manage to send Ruto away and say that now Ruto is not the president, then we can say that is a coup. The president has been overthrown. And if you do follow the current affairs in countries like Gabon, that is Western Africa, where we've seen Taroy overthrowing the government, and the army is now becoming or forming the next government. So which year did we have an attempted coup in Kenya? That year, Daniel Moi was the president. And lastly, I just want you to discuss, don't write it or don't type it, but just try to discuss with your teacher or your parent or somebody who is next to you. What do we remember Jaramogi Oginga Odinga for? I've told you that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was an African He was an African nationalist. Apart from that, he was the founding members of KANU, that is the independent party. He was among the founding fathers of this country because he became the vice president. He's also one of the people who is remembered as a leader of opposition. That is when he successfully vied for the elections in a year that I don't want to say because I've asked you that question, 1992. So he formed part of opposition when he even resigned from KANU and formed his party, KPU. And that is why we remember him as the leader of opposition. Of course, the most important thing we also remember, right, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga as a socialist. A socialist is somebody who believes in things that are being done together. He believes that things should be done at a communal level. People should be able to share the resources that they have. He doesn't believe that, okay, one person can be able to eat a full loaf of bread while others are not getting anything. So those are some of the things that we remember Jaramogi Oginga Odinga with. So ladies and gentlemen, that was the story of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. I know there's a lot, but I'll get time. We'll prepare for you that video so that you can be able to watch it here. So ensure that you subscribe to this channel and also share with your friends so that whenever we make this kind of educative videos, you will be able to be notified. And write on the comment section the next prominent Kenyan that you want to know about. Of course, I told you this is Afrique 24-hour TV, and in Afrique we connect you with African stories. So any prominent leader in Kenya, any prominent leader in Africa that you want to learn more about, just write on the comment section there or comment there. Then I'll be able to ensure I do it. And as we say, I cannot just leave you like that. I want to play for you a certain video about Jaramogi Oginga from the archives.
Usikubali kwa watu kuchafua serikali, na usikubali kwa serikali aende kando. Ikiwa kama unaona sisi tuko na kasoro, sema wasi. Hapana kaa kimya. Utasema tu kwa sauti ya wale watu wenu ambao iko katika parliament. Kwa maana ikiwa kama wewe iko kwa kiwanjani ya mpira, kama wewe unacheza, unadhani wewe ndio unajua kushinda watu wote? Si iko watu wengine huko nje ambao wanasema kwa nini hapa napiga kule? Kwa nini hapa napiga kule? Kwa hivyo ukitiwaambia ati jaribu kuangalia kule na kule na kule, tena ufanye umoja, hii ndio tutasaidia.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this. And I know next time I'm going to bring you another story. We are going to look at another prominent Kenyan leader. So today we were looking at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly ensure that you subscribe to Afrique 24-hour TV so that whenever we have these kind of educative videos, we'll always ensure that you are informed and you join, watch, ask questions. Don't fail to ask questions. Use the comment section there. Type any question. We'll be able to respond to it. Thank you so much and have a good day, a very good evening from wherever you are. That was Prominent Kenyans, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, brought to you by Afrique TV. And I was your teacher, Leo Nyabaya.